we've gone from HD to 720p because it's a different camera. Do I still look good? Come on, Parasocial, get with it. Do I still look good? Mate, I wanted to talk about toxic creators. Just carrying on from a video the other day. I've got a series of them. This one, I've actually got, as my brother Lou says to me, get a little script, Johnny, get a little script. That way, you might not forget what you're going to say. So I've got a little script today. So if you see me constantly looking down, I had a script the other day. I was constantly, it's not an awful video to make, but it's an hard one to make because creators in the Spurs community are toxic, and they do it for reasons. They do it on purpose. Most of them, as you'll probably guess after I've done all this, it will be algorithm rewards outrage. YouTube, right? The algorithm pushes engagement, likes, comments, shares, watch time, and everything else like that. So content that sparks strong emotion and reactions, right, and anger, outrage, tribal loyalty, like in football, like in Tottenham community, often get more engagement. So creators are, what's the word? Their initiative is to be more provocative, is to be more divisive, even if it's negative. A fucking example, right, that I wrote down was like a creator who posts X player is rubbish and ruining their club is more likely to go viral than someone calmly and analysing the actual real football game, the authentic football game that you see in front of you, like a misleading one, you know. And then, like, you can break it down to, are these people real, can't you? Is the online persona over the real person? Some of these creators adapt an online character, exaggerated versions of themselves. Like, they might act angry, cocky, or confrontational on camera to stand out, but in reality, no. Now, this can turn kind of into a toxic performance, especially if they're feeding off the drama, i.e. the chat, the toxic chat. Drama, right, the next philosophy we've got on that is drama equals money, right? Always has done, hasn't it? Controversial videos make more money because they get more views. So when you see Sava doing a video about Paul and then getting Paul on there, that video made more money than all the rest of them. Yeah. Drama. They get more views and more money to be made. It's like there's an entire genre of an underlying thing of calling out and exposing content that's built around taking shots at other creators and having a pop, and there's even manufactured feuds to grow faster between the Tottenham in the Spurs community. You didn't know that, did you? This is how manipulative they are. This is how they use tactics. They manipulate, you know. So you'll have two content creators on screen, both with different views, and it's all manufactured. It's all before they even go on the stage, before they even press click to go live. It's all manufactured. It's all fake. The constant grind of constant creation, right? That leads to burnout. And the constant pressure to produce and grow and stay relevant can make some creators edgy, paranoid, defensive. That stress often spills out into when they talk and when they get criticised on TV by the chat, doesn't it? You know, you can see that, can't you, in a few different content, like, well, all the bigger channels. You can tell, can't you? They just get stressed, mate. Echo chambers and fan wars. All right, I've titled this one Echo Chambers and Fan Wars. Communities often become echo chambered. and where dissent is seen as a betrayal. So if you don't agree with what they say, or you don't do what they say, or whatever you don't agree with, it's seen as a betrayal. It's like even some of the toxic chat look at it like it's a betrayal against them. I've had it myself, where I've been friends with, say I'm friends with Paul, the Hotspur hippie. Now certain content creators won't talk to me, won't talk to me one bit, because they've seen it like a betrayal, because they've got this parasocial aspect going on within themselves. Now in sports like the YouTube communities, and you got the football, you'll get toxic positivity and toxic negativity, depending on the fan base. Yeah, creators end up playing to the extremes because balance don't get you nowhere. If you're an authentic, balanced, real person on YouTube, it doesn't get you nowhere, right? And because they're behind the camera, it gives them a sense of now let's entitle this lack of real world accountability. Is that a good little title for you? Behind the camera and the comment section, there's less social cost to acting out. Yeah, some creators feel immune from consequences because they're not face to face with the audience or their rivals. And that leads to aggression, more aggression, and toxic behaviour, doesn't it? And then you've got the copycats who copy, echo chamber, they copy. So if toxic creators blow up on YouTube, then other creators will copy the formula. Yeah, that normalizes the aggressive, the sensationalist, should we call it, or baiting behavior across certain YouTube communities. You ain't going to be able to do nothing about this, because viewers do not reward calm, honest, balanced voices. They just don't, do they? YouTube, they really need to tweak the algorithm in favour of quality over outrage. And that apparently in the forthcoming year, you'll see a lot more real authentic channels becoming out, because they're tweaking the YouTube algorithm. Because smaller channels, not like my own, like people who's got 500s, and there's a guy I watched the other day, I'll have to get him up, but was his name Ben Bowman? Anyway, I think it might have been Bowman. I was watching him, and I can't believe that he's got low subs, low views compared to these arseholes, to be honest with you. It's terrible. The copycat culture is where they all copycat each other. They all platform, they all got the same people and the same thing, and they just copycat everything for the dramatic. This is what Tottenham away have been doing for ages now. They actually feel like they're immune from consequences because they're on camera, from what they say. I've seen a few people tell me about certain content creators in the Spurs community. Yeah, they keep a low profile when they go to watch the games. They're totally different to how you see them on TV. I wonder why. Because it's all for clicks, likes. It's YouTube, isn't it? But in the communities of Tottenham, we've got a lot of, if you don't agree with this person, it's seen as betrayal. And that's happened to me. I phoned a geezer up because he had a pop at me, because he had a pop at my mental health, right? So when I call him, he didn't understand that it was man to man. He went off like a screaming fucking banshee, bruv. Run up to his bedroom and started screaming like a banshee. He obviously felt betrayed. But don't get parasocial with me, bruv. That's not my problem. That's your problem. That's toxic negativity at its worst. Toxic positivity, well, it's all toxic, isn't it? You know what I mean? But the burnout and the pressure, this is where you see the other collaborators, when they get burnout and pressure, where they start collaborating with other people. You have nice channels actually collaborating with the horrible channels, because they're both suffering from burnout. They both don't know what to do. They've come onto YouTube after a year, 2 years. They got their maximum. They've plateaued their subs, both of them. So what they've got to do is go onto each other's channel and collaborate. They're burning out like a bright star. Everything comes to an end, you know. But the calling out and the exposing, I've been doing that, not for drama, just to be honest and tell the fucking truth about all this underhandedness that happens in the Spurs community. You know, you've heard of it yourself, haven't you? You can't be blind to it when you've seen Jacob Walraven, uncensored, exposing Sean Butler. You've had the WhatsApp screenshot wars. That was Tottenham away, Ben Kaufman and Brian Daigle interrogating people of who sent the WhatsApp message. Someone took a WhatsApp message off their WhatsApp group and spread it amongst certain content creators. I wasn't one of them. I had to get a third-hand news off of it just to ask what was going on. And they actually interrogated the person. The two of them, the two content creators, interrogated the person over the WhatsApp message, and then they interrogated another person. Then they was asking, was it this one? Was it that one? Who cares? You know, who really cares? But they was gatekeeping as well. Personal over the real life personal. Do you know what? This cracks me up because there's a lot of content creators who I know for a fact use emotional blackmail and use the phrase, oh, if we take football out of the equation, we'd probably be really good friends. That's not real. That's not authentic, is it? That's an online persona that he's took into his real life, into his WhatsApp groups with real people. Do you know what? The provocation and the divisive nature of YouTube, right? Now, I'm divisive, but is truth divisive? Because I was called divisive the other day, and I sat there having a bit of a. I'm big into philosophy, right? It must run in the blood because my cousin's boy, he's doing philosophy in university, and when I went to a funeral the other week, I could have sat with that boy for hours and hours and hours. If I was smoking pot, I probably would have still been there today, talking philosophy with him. Because I wish I'd have gone to university and took up philosophy, mate. Because you can think a lot about these, can't you? I mean, let's go back to like the algorithm rewards outrage, what we call it, ARO. Let's call it ARO. Where the algorithm, right, it's so strong at pushing the drama, the outrage to people, content that gets reactions and anger, especially like in Spurs, we've got a very divided fan base. Now, the fan base never used to be divided until social media happened, and you can see it on X. Because X, people do for money now as well. Did you know that? X, people make money off of it, you know? Go and look. X, you can make money off X just by being divisive, having so many followers and having so many people comment back to you. There's incentive programs that are supposed to be to make things socially, just to make it more social, to make people interact more. But in turn, the only interaction people are getting, they're not getting interaction off of proper balanced people. They're getting interaction off the bullshit, the misleading stuff, the outrage, the strong emotions. And when it comes to football, there's no more stronger emotion, is there? Come on, lad, think about it, man. I think that's all my notes for today, to be honest with you. My little script, thanks to Lou, I did do a little script. I'm not very happy about doing scripts, to be honest with you. It's just normally free flowing, but when it comes to things like this, you've got to write them down because you do forget. Like the other day, I was talking about all these content creators that you see and all these collaborators have all got to have their hand in. They've all got to, they're afraid of missing something. They're afraid of missing out on something. There's one creator who I've already mentioned that was a gatekeeper. He's got such a fear of missing out that he's got to contact every new creator, everyone on X, and it does you no good. In fact, it's doing these content creators more harm mentally than it is. Or is it a facade? Are they really like this? When I was doing mental health videos, I've privated a lot of them mental health videos because it became a fad. Because the algorithm was actually picking up on the fad. And I thought, oh, hold on. Everyone else is, if they're picking up on the fad, other content creators after a couple of days and then doing their own ones, then it turned into, it didn't normalize it. It just turned into everyone's got not everyone's got mental health problems. I was trying to normalize my mental health problem, my bipolar, the same as what Tyson Fury done. Try to normalize it, bring it out into the open. And then people seem to think that, oh no, do you know what? We've all got mental health. Perhaps we all have got a touch of mental health, but they turned it into a fad. It turned into a fad so much that a certain content creator from another football community done a video once a month. It was like a sympathy video. And my life is so bad about this is what's happening to me. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, all the stuff that lady done in her video, that's what was happening to, that was categorically what was happening to me since February, trying to demean and degrade myself. Talk about the most vicious attack I've ever had in my life online. And believe me, mate, I've played Call of Duty for fucking years, bruv. I used to play Call of Duty. We was up there, mate. We was up there with all my mates were like 1, 2s and 3s on the fucking proper leaderboards and shit like that, all constantly. So you get a thick skin when people talk to you. And but these people were so manipulative. It was like sympathy. And the more people that you've met in your life, you sort of work these people out. They're just doing it for clicks and like. This particular lady has got 100 times the more subscribers than I got, but yet her videos get the same amount of views as myself. In fact, I get more interaction through comments and that than they do. So my analytics are quite natural. And when I looked at that lady's one, something talks football, it was just red flag after red flag. That's another aspect to YouTube. People they get consumed by YouTube. They get so obsessed that they start feeding into that. I've got to have this. I've got to have this. I've got to buy subs. I've got to do this. It does you no good. It's not organic. And at the same time, the parasocial chat that are getting manipulated by these content creators, they actually go out and do the dirty work for these people. You know, like you should see some of the comments I've had to hide on certain videos. Wow. Maybe I should, I don't know if there's a way to get them back up. I'll get them back up if I can and screenshot them and show you some of the actual vile abuse